For over 160 years, Western societies have grappled with two fundamentally different explanations for the diversity of life on Earth. On one side stands evolutionary theory, which posits that all species share common ancestors and have diversified through processes like natural selection and genetic drift. On the other side is divine creation, often rooted in literal readings of religious texts, most notably the Book of Genesis, which asserts that a supernatural being brought all species into existence in their present form. This tension has shaped educational curricula, legal frameworks, and public opinion across Europe and North America. Prior to Charles Darwin's seminal work in 1859, the dominant intellectual framework in the West was natural theology, which sought evidence of a divine designer in the complexity of nature. Many theologians and scientists alike accepted that all species were immutable kinds created by God. When Darwin published On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection on November 24, 1859, he challenged this view by offering a naturalistic mechanism for the emergence of biodiversity. The book was quickly taken seriously within scientific circles, though religious leaders and literalists often rejected or reinterpreted his conclusions. By the 1920s, the rise of fundamentalist Christianity in the United States led to explicit laws banning the teaching of evolution. Tennessee's Butler Act of 1925 prohibited teaching any theory that denies the divine creation of humans. The ensuing Scopes monkey trial in July 1925, in which teacher John T. Scopes was prosecuted for teaching Darwin's theory, became a media spectacle. Though Scopes was convicted, the trial brought scientific evidence to the forefront of public discourse and intensified the national debate. The legal battle continued through the mid-20th century. In Epperson versus Arkansas, 1968, the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously struck down an Arkansas law barring the teaching of evolution, ruling it violated the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. Following attempts to rebrand creationism as creation science, the 1982 McLean versus Arkansas Board of Education decision declared that creation science was not science under essential criteria like testability and falsifiability. Finally, in Kitzmiller versus Dover Area School District, 2005, a federal court ruled that intelligent design was indistinguishable from creationism and thus unconstitutional in public school science classes. Public acceptance of evolution in the U.S. has hovered between 60% and 80%, with a significant proportion of believers attributing evolutionary processes to divine guidance. A 2013 Pew survey found that 60% of Americans say humans have evolved over time, while 33% reject evolution outright. Among those accepting evolution, 24% view it as guided by a supreme being, and 32% as a purely natural process. Political affiliation, religious tradition, age, and education level all correlate strongly with one's stance on evolution, with white evangelical Protestants and older demographics more inclined toward creationist views. Across Western Europe, acceptance of evolution tends to be even higher. A 2017 Pew study reported majorities or pluralities in nearly all Central and Eastern European countries endorsing evolution, 83% in the Czech Republic, and 74% in Estonia, for example, often reflecting societies with large populations of non-religiously affiliated citizens. In many European nations, teaching evolution is an uncontested component of science curricula, and explicit creationist movements remain marginal compared to the U.S. experience. To bridge the science-religion divide, paleontologist Jay Gould proposed the concept of non-overlapping magisteria, NOMA, in 1997. Gould argued that science and religion occupy distinct domains. Science addresses empirical facts about the natural world, while religion deals with questions of moral meaning and values. By respecting each domain's boundaries, proponents of NOMA suggest that conflict can be minimized, allowing for civil dialogue without forcing either side to cede its core commitments. However, despite legal prohibitions and philosophical models, tensions endure. Some U.S. states continue to propose critical analysis of evolution, and international debates over academic freedom occasionally surface. Meanwhile, science educators emphasize robust curricula grounded in empirical evidence, advocating clear distinctions between scientific theories and religious beliefs. The evolution-creation debate thus remains a flashpoint for broader discussions about the role of religion in public education, the nature of scientific inquiry, and the boundaries of pluralistic societies.